right, hello 8th grade. So today we're looking at equations that have variables on both sides of your equation. So far we've only had one variable going on in our equation. Now we're going to have more than one, and they're on different sides of our equation. So if we've got something like that, the first thing you want to do, the first step is get your variables on the same side. The same side. Doesn't matter which side, as long as they're on the same side. But in general, if your variable is the only thing over here, that's probably the side we want to scoot it over to, because if we move it to the other side, then there isn't anything left over here. So we're going to scoot our variables over here, and when we're doing that, we're doing the same thing we would if it was a number. So if we want to get rid of adding a 4x, we're going to subtract a 4x. Because same sort of thing as if that was a number, if that didn't have an x, 4 minus 4 is 0. 4x minus 4x is 0x, which is just 0. So these are gone. But remember, anything we do to one side of our equation, we have to do to the other side. So 7x minus 4x gives you 3x. Okay, well, now it looks like the ones we've been dealing with before. So we're just going to divide by 3 to get rid of multiplying by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so those are gone. And we get x. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And there we go. Boom. Yay. So other than that first step, it's the same sort of thing we've been doing. We're just adding one more thing on. Okay. Let's turn in the loops. So same sort of thing, we want to get our variables on the same side. And in this case, we probably want them on this side, because if we scoot this over here, there's nothing left over here. So we want to get them over to this side. So we're going to get rid of adding an 8x by subtracting an 8x. Which means we got to do the same thing over here. So over here, 8x minus 8x is gone. That's 0. We've got a 20 left over here. 4x minus an 8x, so 4 minus 8 gives you negative 4. So watch out for those. And then we're dividing by that negative 4. So watch out, even though that's negative, we're not getting rid of it with adding, because number next to a variable like that means we're multiplying, and we're always getting rid of multiplying with dividing. So these are gone. 20 divided by a negative 4, well, 20 divided by a regular 4, or positive 4, would be 5. A positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. And there we go. Okay, well, we got a little bit more stuff. So this one we got some numbers over here with our x's, but that's okay. We still got the same first step. So we're still going to move our variables to the same side of our equation. Now, it doesn't matter which side, but in general, it's nice to deal with the one that's going to give you a positive. So we could either subtract a 5x or subtract the 9x. I'm going to subtract a 5x because that'll give us a positive number to deal with. Now, if you went ahead and subtracted 9x, that would also be fine. Just watch out for, instead of this positive 4x that we're going to get here, if we subtracted 9x over here instead, you'd get a negative 4x, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of that minus 38, because remember, we're getting rid of adding or subtracting before multiplying or dividing, if we've got both of them. So we're going to get rid of subtracting 38 by adding 38. And again, we can do that as long as we do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to add a 38 over here. So these are gone. 2 plus 38 is 40. And then one more step, we want to get rid of multiplying by 4 by dividing by 4. There's your go. 40 divided by 4 is 10. And just a reminder that no, it doesn't matter whether you write it like this or whether you write it like this. Those are the exact same thing. All right, let's do one more of those. Alright, so same sort of thing, we want to get the variables on the same side first. So if we got a 4x here and a 5x here, I'm going to go ahead and subtract that 4x. And again, you can do either. So you could also subtract the 5x. Just remember that if you do, that's going to be a negative instead of this positive 1x that we're going to get over here. Plus that 3. And watch out for if you do it this way, don't lose that negative that's hanging out in front of that 20. So that needs to hop on down here along with that 20. So it just needs to not disappear. And then we're going to get rid of adding 3 by subtracting 3. Negative 20 minus 3 gives you a negative 23. And that's a 1x, but 1x is just x. So this time we don't have that step where we're dividing by whatever's next to the x at the end, because if we divide by 1, well, we still got a negative 23. So this is just x. Okay. The only thing that can make this a little bit trickier is if we have to set up our own equation first. So instead of numbers, we've got words. So let's say we got 5 more than half a number is 2 less than 4 times the number. Okay, words. Okay, we're going to start with half a number. So in general, it's nice to start in one of your places that has a number. Because remember, a number just means a variable. Now, you could write half a number a couple different ways. You could write it like this. You could write it like this. Or, if you prefer decimals, you could take that 1/2 and turn it into a point. Whoops, that's a 2, not a 5. I was thinking ahead of myself there. So this is a 2. So either this, or 0.5 times x. I'm recording this late at night. Okay, so we got 1/2 x. So half a number is either this, or this. I'm going to go with this for now. So any of those things, I'm going to go with the top one. Okay, and then if we want 5 more than that, more than means we're adding. So we're going to say plus 5. Right there. Okay, so that's 5 more than half a number, or at least one way that you could write 5 more than half a number. And then is means equals. Okay, and then we've got 2 less than 4 times the number. Well, 4 times the number would be 4 times whatever variable you picked over here. So if you picked x, then it's x. If you picked n, it's n. If you picked smiley face, it's smiley face. So 4 times whichever variable you picked. And then watch out for 2 less than that. Is this, not this. So this, not that. Okay. Okay, and then once we've got that, we're just solving it. So we've got x's here, we've got x's here. We want to get rid of one of them. Probably going to be easier to get rid of that 1/2 than the 4, so I'm going to subtract the 1/2 x. Okay, these are gone. That was the point. This is a 5. 4 minus 1/2, so if you want to call that 3.5, that's fine. And this is the point where I'm going to swap over to decimals and call that 1/2 0.5. So 4 minus 0.5 is 3.5. If you want to leave that as 3.5, that's fine. Minus this 2. And now we're going to get rid of subtracting 2 by adding 2. Adding 2. These are gone. 5 plus 2 is 7. And we get 3.5. Or if you left it as 3.5, 3.5. The reason it's nice to change it to a decimal is now you don't have to deal with that thing where you've got 3.5 and you need to change it to an improper fraction and then flip it and multiply by the reciprocal. All right, you could. This is a little bit nicer. And now we're going to divide by this 3.5. Which very conveniently gives you 2. And there we go. Yay. All right, one more. Let's see about some shapes. And we want to find what x would have to be So we got an X here, we got an X over here. We want to find what that would have to be in order to get these shapes to have the same perimeter. Again, remember, perimeter is all the way around the outside. So if we've got a triangle, these little lines here mean if this is x plus 3, that's an x plus 3, and that's an x plus 3. So if we want the perimeter, we've got an x and an x and an x here. 1x, 1x, 1x is 3x. And then plus this 3 and that 3 and that 3, 3 and 3 and 3 is 9. So that's our perimeter over here. Now we're going to do the same thing over here with this pentagon. And equals because we want our perimeters to equal each other. Okay, so again, lines mean if this is x minus 1, this is x minus 1, this is x minus 1, that's x minus 1, and that's x minus 1. Okay, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those x's, so I'm going to call that 5x. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 1s, and they're all minus 1s. So I'm going to call that a minus 5. Right. And really the big thing with these is just getting them set up, because once we're here, we're doing the exact same thing we were just doing. So we got a 3x here, we got a 5x here. We want to get them on the same side, so I'm going to subtract the 3x. Again, you can subtract the 5x if you like, you'll get the same thing. These are gone. 5x minus 3x is 2x. And we're going to get rid of subtracting 5 by adding 5. Add 5. Add 5. Boom. 9 plus 5 is 14. And then the last thing we're going to do is get rid of multiplying by 2 by dividing by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And boom, there we go. Alright, so that's really as tricky as it's going to get for today. Next time we'll go ahead and pile some parentheses on top of these, but for now this is as bad as it gets. So numbers are in the description below. They're also up on Google Classroom, and this is due on Monday when hopefully we will be back. If we are back on Monday, feel free to just hang on to this and give it to me then. If we get word that we're not going to be back on Monday, then go ahead and take a picture of it with your phone or with your Chromebook or computer or whatever, and either upload that to Google Classroom or you can just email me that. Either one of those things is okay. All right, and I will hopefully see you Monday.